All right, everybody, just a heads up about what's going to be going on in the coming week. So we're done with the first week. Tried to keep it as simple as I could for you, just so you can kind of get this and all your other classes underway. But again, going forward, as I said before, I made an announcement as well. Lectures will be up for 48 hours. So you have 48 hours to view a 15 or 20-minute lecture, depending on what we're covering. In each lecture, I will pose a question. It's a simple thing that you just have to answer, just so I can verify you watch it, and again, that will count towards attendance. No points awarded, just for attendance. These coming weeks, I will be putting more questions into the lectures that will count as quiz questions. I will let you know when those are during the lecture. There'll be more short answer stuff than multiple choice. Again, I'll just pose one or two maybe in each lecture, and you'll just submit it via an email. When you are emailing me going forward, and again, I ask you to do this, keep everything separate in terms of turning in your labs, any lab work we're turning in, any projects, your activity logs, and again, along with those logs, either a video or write-up of the activities you've done. Again, keep just separate emails. Please don't lump them together. I don't want anything to get lost in the shuffle through all the other emails or old chains or anything like that. Just start all new emails. Again, and just label them, again, this coming Tuesday, Lab 4A, activity log for the past week, things like that. So this video I'll leave up just so you can kind of keep referencing this, because also in a second we're going to go over your next two projects. The nutrition lab, which will be due shortly. I'll get an exact date on that soon. You're going to use this week to prep for it, and it'll be sometime either later next week, probably Thursday or Friday next week. I can have that due. And then we'll go over your fitness programming project as well. Those are your last two big projects. So yeah, that's it. Again, main thing is just make sure all the emails are separate and make sure you're staying on your lectures. So let's go ahead and we'll get looking at the nutrition project here. Here we are on your Blackboard page, and what you're going to look for here, again, this is to start the nutrition project. You're going to click on Mind Tab right here. Once Mind Tab's opened up, you click on the class, and it's going to take you to the Mind Tab link. So let this load. And so essentially what we're going to be doing is setting up an account, so to speak, through Mind Tab. But first, please follow my cursor. You're going to look all the way to the right. You're going to come down third from the bottom, Diet and Wellness Plus. Click on that apple. So once you click on that apple, it's going to prompt you up here. It's provided for instructional purpose only. Proceed. You're just going to click through. So it's going to take you here. Before you get here, I'm already set up with an account. It's going to ask you some basic questions. Just fill those out and create an account so you can get to this page. Okay. So all we're looking to do is track diet. Okay. So you're going to log 3 days of diet here. So again, whatever 3 days you want, I would use this week, because next week we're going to do the project itself. Okay. So again, whatever. Let's say today, look for food, whatever you eat, turkey. Eat up finding your food. Okay. Turkey sandwich or whatever it is. Anything. Turkey meat and skin roasted, or lunch meat turkey. You can Google it. Find out, not Google it, I'm sorry. Type in the search box how many ounces, what meal you use it for, and add the item. Okay. So you're going to do this through the course of a day. Again, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, anything, snacks, water you take in, just put everything in that you consume for 3 days. Once you're done with those 3 days, you're going to go to your reports. This is the important part. Tracking is important. Once you go to your reports, you're going to look at your diet and activity reports, and you're going to print these out. Okay. So your 3-day average is what we're going to look for. You put in, make sure you go day 1, day 2, you put all 3 days in. Okay, you're going to have this readout here, your intake versus your goals. Very, very important you print this out over all 3 days. Half of your project is turning in this report. So again, it's going to need to be printed. If you don't want to print it, you can do a print screen, but I'm going to need every single one of these columns listed. Okay, so again, everything, this entire report is going to have to be shown to me for you to get credit for this. Every little thing here. So again, it scrolls all the way down. Again, if you want to constantly do the screenshots, is fine. If you want to print it off and then take pictures of each individual page, also fine. Any way you want to get it done, you just do it. Again, you're going to see the My Plate, if you recall that from the earlier chapters as well. Either way, everything is going to need to be displayed to me. Now, once you log your 3 days in, and once you print your report, we're going to move on to the form, which we'll go over right now. To find the the part 2 of the project, I believe it's under assignments due. You're going to find a little folder for the nutrition lab, or sorry, item for the nutrition lab. All you're going to do is click on this. Now, again, this needs to be printed out and filled out completely. Again, if you can't seem to print it out, I know some of you said you don't have access to a printer, make an exact copy of this to the best of your ability. So this is going to need to be filled out. Again, if you'll notice, this is in direct correlation with what you're going to find on the printout. So this is the easy part. You're just transferring the information from the report to this sheet. Okay, this is part 2. Part 1 is printing the report itself. So again, that's all transferred over, easy enough. And then this, you're just analyzing it yourself. You're going to look at the My Plate portion. It's just answering what ranges you're in. And again, very straightforward on what to do. This questions 4, 5, 6. This is and on is when you need to have more of a reflection, a self-analysis more than just reporting the easy data. Changes you can make, what you learn, things like that. Again, just answering pretty straightforward and using that information you have to make the best possible answers you can get. And again, the last one here, write one SMART nutrition goal. We remember the SMART goals. Again, that's going to be in your documents tab as well, is what is a SMART goal? Okay, specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and timely. You need to be specific on that. But again, that's pretty much it. And this needs to be turned into me. And again, I'll get you the exact date later this week. But use this week to log the 3 days of diet. And again, that needs to be shown to me. The report needs to be shown to me 3 days, as well as this for you to get full credit on the nutrition project. Okay. Again, feel free to ask me any questions you have on this. We're going to go from here, and now we're going to talk about your we're going to talk about your fitness program project. For the fitness plan project, this is also under assignments due, right here to the left column. You're going to click on the entire folder. Now this has 3 parts. So this is the biggest project you're going to have this year. 3 parts. Part A is what you're going to fill in first. So let's take a look at this. This is a lot of short answer. Name, class on here, obviously. Pros and cons, and I shouldn't say cons, but pros to a fitness plan. And again, fitness program, it's everything. It's cardio, it's strengthening, it's flexibility. SMART goals, again, I'm going to list these out specifically because you're going to be graded on each one of these numbers in a specific way. Barriers, again, things that are in the way or impeding you from achieving that SMART goal. Resources, very important. There's a fair amount of points here. Be smart on your resources, the who, the what, and the where. Resources is who would help you, and who would help you, what could help you, and where would you find help is essentially what you're trying to answer there. Plan of action. So I can say last semester this seemed to be a hard question for people. A plan of action is how you're going to, again, like it says, accomplish your SMART goals. Steps, strategies, and techniques. What I saw a lot of with step 1s or step 2s is create a plan. That's not going to count. That doesn't count for anything. This is a plan. This is what you're going to do to put the plan into action. Okay, so step 1, nowhere on here should be set up a plan or strategize or anything like that. That's already done. This is what you're already doing to do that. Again, 3 out of 5 is all you really need. Again, if you're confused on what may or may not be an appropriate strategy or step, you may want to fill out all 5. And again, as long as you have 3 coherent, logical steps on there, part of a plan, you will get credit for it. Evaluate. How you evaluate. You need a specific way to evaluate, not just, I'll monitor or I'll weigh myself or I'll just know by how I feel. Again, it has to be specific and how it can relate to your SMART goal. What if you're measuring it, if you're on time, if it's relatable, attainable, things like that. And again, these are your short answer ones. This is going to be the first thing you should do before you decide to put your plan together. Again, this is part 1, or A, or however you want to term it. Part 2, this is going to be the fitness plan. So again, this is cardio and or aerobic. You'll see on the top here, very similar to your activity logs. You have to have your training zones and everything. Again, very specifically, everything needs to be filled out properly in how you do this. Any warm-up, and again, time or distance on the warm-up is fine. And then you're here, you have whatever cardio exercises you want to fill in here, what day of the week, intensity, moderate, vigorous. If you want to put percentages in there, just make sure they're consistent with the moderate or vigorous guidelines. Again, it's pretty straightforward. It should be filled out with as much detail as you can. Again, and make sure it fits into the daily requirements that we set up. Your 75 to 150 minutes. Again, these are all stats that you have available to you in your book. So this would be the cardio portion of your plan. From there, part C, or part 3, however you want to term it, is going to be your weight training and flexibility. So you see it's a little bit more detailed in here in terms of what exercises you're going to do for your legs, chest, back, shoulders, blah, 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 all the way down through here, and what days a week. Again, the idea is to develop a strategy. Pick 3 leg workouts on Wednesday and pick 3 more on Saturday, or however you want to do it. If you want to hit every muscle group every day, and again, it's your program as long as you're checking the proper boxes in what you're doing. What you should look for is a correlation of flexibility. If muscles are worked one day, they should be stretched the same day. That's one thing I'm going to be looking for, is a consistency in that. So this isn't, in a sense, the flexibility plan is separate, but it also should correlate to what your strength training program is. Okay. So again, straightforward. It's one sheet to fill out, print out, scan, however you got to do it. Fill it out to the best of your abilities and as much detail as you can for the maximum amount of points. And here I'm going to show you the grading rubric for the fitness plan. So this is how this is going to go out. As I said, there are very specific points with how you're going to be graded. This is just listed twice. You're only going to look at the top here. So part 1 is that short answer that you were looking for. So you'll see barriers are important. Your who, what, where. This is your resources. This is a lot of points. You need to make sure you have your resources on point where you can go for help. 3 steps. Again, that's right here. That's another emphasis I wanted to focus on. Just make sure those are tight and on point too. You'll see your most points here, 11. This is in the appropriate activities. As I said, the consistency, the cardio activity, your muscular strength activity, your flexibility, and right here, keyword details listed. Make sure they are detailed if you want to get full credit for this. Again, 40 points all together. So make sure you're doing everything properly. Okay. All right, that's it for your 2 projects. This video is going to stay up the entire time for the rest of the semester, so if you always want to go back and reference it, you can. Feel free to email me with any questions you may have. And going forward here, you'll see the next video you're going to have access to will be your lecture, so we'll get started on that soon.